important game. We say that week in, week out in AFL football now, but the Bulldogs, they've an extra incentive for them, I'm sure, Tim, because no one really wants to come over here and play an elimination final if the Eagles happen to get up into those top spots. Well, the first bounce, the umpire's found a free kick, and it's going to the Bulldogs, taken away by Johnson to West, two of their key midfielders, Montgomery, into the forward pocket, and a good mark out in front taken by Darcy in front of Jason Ball. So already Jason Ball, who we would have thought may have started on the ball or maybe up forward, looks as though he's manning up on Luke Darcy. Now the umpire at the scene of the Luke Darcy mark has been overridden here, and a free kick has been paid against Mark at centre-half back for the Bulldogs.
Went to Worsfold too, which was pretty interesting and got a great cheer, Robbo. Gardner's taken the mark, so the Bulldogs were going to have a shot for goal, and now West Coast have got it at half-back.
Michael Gardner, one of the exciting young players in the AFL. He's kicked towards half-forward, not quite to that area, just past the wing, punched over. Cousins can't get clear. Scotty Wine, Banfield, still Scotty Wine. In trouble there, Wirra gets it away to West. West takes a punt, but the kick's all right. Mark taken by Ramiro, handball away. This is Cox. Cox across the half-back line. The mark taken by Montgomery. Plays on quickly. Rowan Smith running in support is Cameron. Cameron down the ground. A bit of a worm burner to Grant. Good hand pass, Collinwood. Gives it back again. Through comes Croft. Go for goal, Matthew. He does with a lovely long kick. And the Bulldogs have got the first goal of the evening. Lovely bit of football by the Western Bulldogs around the middle of the ground. Well, probably from their half-back line, where a chain of hand passes eventually set it up for Croft.
That was just brilliant play there. A lot of the players got deep in their own back half, the Bulldogs. They were there in numbers, they ran, they supported each other. There was pressure applied by the West Coast Eagles, but they just had the extra player. And that first give there by Grant too just goes back again. And Crom just had plenty of time to sum up the situation.
And there's the bench for the Bulldogs with young Alvey there, the 17-year-old Mark Alvey, second from the right, playing his first game. Stephen Powell also there, back in the side. He did so well against Peter Matera on this ground last year. Worsfold, good tackle by Garlick. West handball, very effective to Hudson. Hudson at 50 metres, gives it everything he's got. It's pretty good, just misses it behind. We're looking at Hudson coming over, and in every match this year, he's kicked either 3 or 2 goals. Hasn't kicked a bag in any game, but what about the consistency? 23 goals so far. His smallest return has been a couple. There's Denton Liberatore.
Lucky for the Bulldogs didn't get a free kick, in my opinion. They're a chance here, though. Brilliant tap. Hudson just about put this down. He is exemplary from that area. Paul Hudson has kicked his first goal. The Bulldogs have got their second on the scoreboard, and they have the score 2-1 to 0. After the football is Grant, gives it away to Garlick. Garlick with a little bit of pace, tries to set it up. Hasn't Cox provided some run? Handball's wider still. May get his own hand pass here, Simon Cox. A little reverse punt kick didn't quite work, and eventually forced over. Is it on the full?
No.
A boundary throw in the right forward pocket for the Bulldogs.
Once again, we saw Smith, who had the ball deep in the back half of the Bulldogs. He's the guy that actually set the ball in motion, went forward to Ramiro. That's where they're going to set their attack up, across half-back and even deeper in their own defence.
Grant, Chris Grant, snapshot for goal, it's a goal! Magnificent goal by Grant, their third. Well, he had some space, and I think it surprised even Chris Grant, and he made the most of it, kicking his first and the Bulldogs' third.
It's a really sharp start here by the Bulldogs. Good work there by Grant, but what's really happening up the other end of the ground is they're getting the numbers back. That's where they set a lot of their play up deep in their own defence. Then players are prepared to run hard. They fan out from defence. They've got the options when they go forward, and that's what's putting the West Coast Eagles under pressure.
As Tim said, this is a sharp start, all right. They're irresistible at the moment, the Bulldogs. 19 to 0. West Coast need a quick one. Garlick from the centre. Short kick. Hudson. Their handball's been very good to West. West to Darcy on a long lead here. He's a left footer. Ball will know that. Still Darcy about 30 metres out. Ramiro having a wonderful opening turn. This will top it off, and he's going to kick it. Oh, wonderful play. Talk about confidence. 6 kicks, 1 handball. Tim, you sit there and shake your head. I'm with you, son. This is really good stuff.
Well, I said a moment ago it was a sharp start. It's quite a brilliant start because they're just getting in there, getting the ball. The West Coast Eagles just can't get hold of the ball at the moment. And when they do the defensive thing, whereas the Bulldogs are so full of confidence. They're attack. Momentum's certainly with them at the moment.
Interesting kick that one.
Well, a real smart kick there by Jose Ramiro. He's had 7 possessions and has kicked the Western Bulldogs' 4th goal. Cousins confronted. The ball spills. Now it goes towards centre-half forward Croft. Johnson. No, he could have given the hand pass there, Brad Johnson. Instead went for the left foot kick at goal. Just out of the reach there of Jason Hall. It bounces through for a behind. Brad Johnson's first score, and for the first time for about 7 or 8 minutes. Just a little bit of a lull in the game.
And it might be time, actually. Jakovic is lined up in the forward line. I'd even considering at this early stage of the game to get him back there, because he is one player who can steady the ship in the back half.
So McKenna to kick in for the Eagles. Goes in short, close to the boundary line. Bark taken out there by Morrison. So they've been besieged, the West Coast Eagles, in the early part of this game. They haven't scored yet. And that short kick has been well marked by Montgomery. Looking to give it off, but then kicks to the danger area, right in front of the goal square. Chance for Hudson. Snapshot by Hudson. He's kicked another one. He's second. Well, he's got his average, Bruce. You said before that he's kicked 3 on quite a few occasions, but he's got at least 2 so far and plenty of time to add to that.
And that's his 25th for the year too, Paul Hudson. He really is playing some brilliant football at this stage of his career.
35 possessions to 18 in favour of the Bulldogs so far in this game. The kick to half forward, that's nearly a mark to Metropolis. It's been paid in front of Rowan Smith, so immediately that move pays off. Metropolis out wide, and it's taken by Braun, who was a good player earlier in the season. Shot for goal by Michael Braun. Well, the Eagles have got a score. And he's just a behind, kicked by Michael Braun.
At the back, Ramiro gives it off. Montgomery's been very good. West, they just know where each other are at the moment. It's like they're in sinkers, and it's beautiful to watch. Smith's kick wide to Hudson, who's got 2 first quarter goals here. Hudson at centre wing. In short, Ramiro. Banfield can't cut him off. Ramiro's had 6 kicks, 2 handballs. Make that 7. Look at that. He has drilled it on the left. It's to Croft at half forward, and Croft, who kicked the first goal of the match, his first goal this season.
He's been quite brilliant, hasn't he, Jose
Jose
Ramiro?
will be waiting for the birthday cake to come out, won't he?
And Tim, he's kicked that perfectly on the left, and yet 5 minutes ago when he could have kicked the left foot goal, he was good enough to kick a very clever check side right footer.
Along the ground.
So Croft, goalless so far this season, going for his 2nd goal in the opening term. Kicks from 40 metres out. He's hooked it, and looks like he's missed. No! Goal! Well, I should have known better. They can't miss, can they?
Don't play cards against a goal umpire, Bruce.
6-2 to a behind.
And there's still 8 minutes left in this first term. But once again, just the set-up kick there by Hudson to Ramiro. Great vision here by Ramiro, and great finishing too on the left foot. That ball travelled about 45 metres to Croft, who drifted down into that space. And really, the West Coast Eagles have to shake themselves free in the midfield.
So a goal there to Croft, 6-2 to a behind. Best first quarter ever by the Bulldogs against West Coast. 7-2 to 2-2. Round 11, the first year West Coast came into the comp in 1987. That was 7-2 to 2-2. Currently, they're 6-2 to a behind.
Well, you'd reckon they're about 3s on to better that. There's 8 minutes left in this quarter. Scotty West from Chris Grant. Kick to full forward, and an easy mark in the finish. That should have been made a little harder for Luke Darcy, I'm sure. Michael Malthouse wouldn't have been happy with that. Darcy on his chest will shoot from about 35 metres, and just a slight angle.
Can you believe this, any of you? I mean, this is
it's mind-blowing. It's like a practice session.
It's one of the most precise quarters of football I have ever seen. The usage of the balls, we see Gardner coming off the ground, being replaced by Reid. The usage of the ball has just been superb.
Well, this, Robbo, would equal their best first quarter effort ever against West Coast.
Luke Darcy has been a goal kicker for the Bulldogs over the years. He stabs at it, but by G, he's done the job. They've now kicked 7 goals with 7 minutes left. Luke Darcy kicks his first goal, and some concerns there in the West Coast Eagles coach's box. McIntosh onto that player. Waterman gives away meterage back to Metropolis. Metropolis across the half-back line, and the mark is taken down in front of us by Reed.
One bounce, now straightens the body. Amble inside to Banfield at centre wing. Banfield delivers to the pocket. Good looking kick. White attacks hard. That's a splendid mark. Over the shoulder play, but he took the mark. Now let's see if he can go back and kick a long goal to give West Coast something to take into quarter time.
But it's not really a percentage position though either, is it? They've gone wide once again as they've worked the ball forward. He perhaps can kick the distance, but it's not really where you'd want one of your forwards kicking, as we see Reed leaving the ground once again, and he'll be replaced by Simons.
So White back in the team, had knee reconstruction last year, came back this year, and then out for 3 or 4 weeks. As Tim said, not the easiest kick. Kicks the ball forward, off hands, up behind.
And the kick in again. He's first class and finds Cameron. Looking to play on Leon Cameron for Montgomery. Croft just getting into the action. Montgomery, little hand pass for Croft. Can he shrug the tackle? He does. Hand passes further afield. Look at Southern run all the way down the ground. Danny Southern to the goal face. Grant at the back. Shot for goal by Grant. It's 8 goals to nothing for the Bulldogs. Well, Chris Grant has kicked his second goal with Paul Hudson and Matthew Croft. It's just been an avalanche by the Bulldogs, 8-2 to 3 behinds.
Well, it's almost like a training drill, isn't it? They kicked the ball out from full back. Cox went wide, he found his mark, he went up the side where the players had left some space to run to, and then they worked the ball forward again, and Grant just finished off after winning the one-on-one duel there with McIntosh. And at the moment, it's just all one-way traffic.
2 goals to Grant in the opening term, and this is the best first quarter the Bulldogs have put together against the Eagles. Got to go back to 87 since they kicked 7. They've now got 8-0. West goes forward. It has been a magnificent display of football. West again at 50 to Montgomery. Well, you'd back this, wouldn't you? He couldn't miss, could he? He did. Well, they are human after all. But right now, this team is white hot. They came in with 8-1, a game clear of Sydney with a touch of percentage. Young Alvey, we saw there a moment ago, the 17-year-old waiting to have his first run. 8-3 to 3 behind they lead.
I just wish I hadn't made that phone call before the game.
And I told you you're a naughty boy for changing.
You told me not to tip against the Bulldogs, Robbo.
McIntosh wants Kemp, he's outnumbered. Croft's been a revelation in the opening term. Colin-Uke lets fly and misses. Behind.
I'll tell you what, Terry Wallace has just gone down to the interchange bench, and I think if he was going to be critical of their play, that's the only area that he could have been critical. Lewis to Donnelly, back to Braun. Braun doing a pretty good job. He's had 8 possessions, kicks the ball to centre-half forward. Morrison going to just get run into there by Cameron. Handballs away to Cousins. Cousins unselfishly into the pocket. At the feet of Mitchell White, can't control it, and it spills over for a throw-in.
Just look at where the ball ended up again, though, right in the pocket. They had the chance when Braun was in about the centre of the ground to cut back inside, but they continued to go wide, playing right into the hands of the Bulldogs.
West held on to Cousins. That's good. Donnelly back to Cousins. Good finisher normally. Left foot, he's got it. They're on the board at last. Listen to the roar. It's like they've won their 3rd premiership. The Eagles get a goal. They've had a fair bit of the footy in the second quarter. 1-4 to 8-4.
Well, they didn't have much of it in the first quarter. 92 possessions to 57 as we just watched this set up again. Cousins working extremely hard. He's been a more accomplished footballer in 1998. Had a pretty ordinary year by his 96 standards in 97. He's worked hard to get the ball.
Right in the middle of the whacker. Not a bad bounce. Ball dispossessed by Johnson. Ball to half forward for the Eagles. Scotty West, hand pass gee, that was an instinctive hand pass. Ramiro's been dumped. Now that might slow him down a bit. He was a key player for the Bulldogs in the first quarter. McKenna inside 50. They've got their second goal within 2.5 minutes. It has taken Guy McKenna to kick a goal to create the second opportunity for the Eagles early in the second term as Evans lifts from the ground.
Well, they've just lifted their tempo. Watch this. Lewis puts a hard tackle there, a solid tackle on Ramiro. They gain possession of the ball. They dispossess the Bulldogs. Then they work it forward. Then Guy McKenna cuts back inside and finishes off. But they've just lifted their tempo and they're starting to flex their muscle.
It's as if the West Coast have made a statement here. McKenna gets his first goal for the season. They've got a couple and suddenly the game changes. Johnson's kicked the centre half forward, Metropolis marks to Jakovic. Jakovic wide. They've got numbers out there. Taken by Reid. Reid's handball was a good one. This is better. Waterman's a good finisher. Goes for it. Kicks at the full forward. Well done by Gehrig at the back. Can't get the kick away. Morrison. It's a frantic pace at the moment. Sir over the top of it. He's gone. Morrison's going to go back and kick their third. Sir holding the footy. And Morrison from point blank range. And this is what we expected in the first 5 minutes.
I think Ball's given them something in the centre bounce. He's just created some opportunity.
Lewis has been strong too in the last 5 minutes.
Well, they were shell-shocked, weren't they, after that initial start by the Bulldogs in the onslaught. They've changed their side around a lot now. They've got Matera, they've got Kemp, they've got Banfield, all their big guns in the centre of the ground. And we just watched that again.
Maybe should have left it for Mickey Martin.
So Morrison to kick the third goal. It must be the scoring end, Tim. It's 3 goals to 8, all 11 at the right, but this crowd is really into it. And the Eagles are back in this match.
Well, for the first time, they actually have started to find themselves some free players. Just watch this again. So that's actually drags the ball back in. And I guess technically that's a free kick.
Ball, who as Robbo said has been very aggressive in this term. Brown's kicked to a bit of space. McKenna and Collinwood. Still McKenna. Handball back was okay. Waterman finds some space. Can go a bit further. Delivers to Gehrig at centre half forward. The punch away from Southern was good. Lewis and Curley. Lewis has been good at this turn. Gives it to Matera. Matera through the centre. Little kick, not accurate enough. White's going to run onto it. Still with White. Over the top. Another one. Morrison again. Oh, this is great stuff. This stirs you, doesn't it? 4-5 to 8-4. They're coming back strong.
Well, as brilliant as the Western Bulldogs were in the first quarter, the West Coast Eagles are just taking up to Chris Lewis pushing up, and all of a sudden the Eagles are starting to get there in numbers and find some space, and that was a terrific handball there by Mitchell White, just winning the one-on-one battle there against Sadat Sir.
The ball spills to the back of the pack. Banfield runs onto it and then kicks it close to his offensive 50-metre line. Punched away by Southern. Good disciplined play. Simmons back, spins away, out of trouble. Back onto his left foot. Kicks in towards full forward. Chance here. Mitchell White again. Will the ball bounce for that player? Gets the handle away. Gehrig goes in. And the Eagles have got their 5th on the scoreboard.
Sensational game, isn't it? Can you believe it, Tim?
He can because he changed his tip. Bruce, he's still a chance now.
I'm glad I made that phone call now. I'm glad I made that phone call. This is breathtaking football, isn't it?
Wonderful.
It's amazing. We had a discussion on the way over here about the defence of football and how the goals have dried up. Well, you just wouldn't see goals scoring like this. It is just brilliant.
What a remarkable match. A sensational start to this match. The Bulldogs kicked 8 and now the West Coast have kicked 5 in a row. 13 goals have been kicked to the right of screen on a perfectly still night for football. And again, the free kick goes to the Eagles. Kemp from the centre, who's been important, kicks to Gehrig and he's got it. It's one-way traffic. It's all to the right of screen and this time it's the Eagles. Well, we talked about a record opening quarter for the Doggies. You better get the book out because the West Coast are closing in on their record for the second term. Gehrig to kick from 45 metres. And the way things have been going tonight, you reckon he's 10s on to goal. Listen to the crowd. Gehrig with 2 second quarter goals. And the avalanche continues. It's 6 goals to 8. It is the most stunning first half I've seen in a long time. Wine front spot, won it comfortably. Brown's got it. Ramiro very short. Brown hooks it back, but there's Eagles everywhere. Waterman's getting hold of the footy a fair bit. Gives it off to Jakovic. Jakovic at half-back. Finds some space. Waterman provides a shepherd. Jakovic straightens the body. Kicks to half-forward. Morrison's outnumbered. Croft at the back. Comes to Gehrig. He's very quick. Handball under pressure. Cameron to get back. It's like they've changed jumpers, isn't it? You can't believe it. Cameron in trouble, deliberately pushes it out and doesn't get penalised.
Oh,
he's lucky.
Dear
He's
me.
very, very lucky. 8 goals to 6.
Well, Croft's the player across half-back for the Bulldogs who's free. Up the other end of the ground, Waterman's the player who's free. He's actually probably doing more damage at half-back than what Croft is for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, the umpire from close to the centre of the ground has awarded a free kick here. And it may go to the Eagles to be taken by Chad Morrison, is it?
Hanging on, Robbo.
Well, that umpire telling everyone to get out of the road was right back inside the centre square. And there was another umpire down in front there who had probably had control of the situation as far as geographically was concerned. That might have been Chris Mitchell. And Gavin Dorr overriding there, giving the free kick to Morrison. He's already kicked 2 goals, Chad Morrison. So a chance to kick his third. Just swinging away to the left. And it's a mark to Ball. Certainly a mark being paid to Jason Ball. Just wide of the goal square. And he has been terrific in this second term, Ball.
In front of half-time, Tim.
It's just extraordinary football, isn't it? I would not have backed the West Coast Eagles with bad money at quarter time. They just looked totally despaired and out of it. And they have just been quite magnificent in this second term. This bloke's been good in the centre square. Just with the physical stuff, has been jumping into Scotty Wine. Really their second string ruckman. Gardner's their number 1 boy. He's on the sidelines at the moment.
Well, he really should kick a goal. And you rarely see them miss from there, and he hasn't. Jason Ball kicks his first goal. And with 5 3/4 minutes left, the Eagles have kicked their 7th goal. Chris Lewis mouthing off, and he's got good reason. He's been one of the players that has had a lot to do with this resurgence in this second quarter by the Eagles. They are 7-5. They trail by just 6 points. The Western Bulldogs 8-5. And Barra on the boundary line, a further report.
Robbo, another little subplot. Michael Braun doing a great job on Scotty West. Another crucial point.
Metropolis gets it from Cousins and kicks to Waterman. You almost want this to be all square at half-time, don't you? Waterman's kick to full forward. Morrison! Morrison! A beauty! And this will square it up. He's kicked 2 goals in this second term. Kolonyukov for the Bulldogs. And Montgomery on. So Sir's got some problems. Remember, no Crediuk, no Dent, and no Ellis. But we were saying no West Coast at the start. The formula that I thought was breaking up before my very eyes has reinvented itself in the second quarter. And I actually like this one better than the one before. What a football club this one is. To come back from where they were, there's a lot of footy to be played. But, gee, they've given themselves every chance now. And scores are level. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. That we could be tied up. If they'd taken you away, Tim, for half an hour and you came back, you'd put someone in a straitjacket if they suggested this was happening.
Well, mainly because it was dominated so much by the Bulldogs in the first quarter, and the Eagles were just completely smothered.
Well, they just didn't touch the ball in the first quarter because of the domination of the Western Bulldogs, but it's been the reverse of that in this second quarter. The Western Bulldogs have hardly touched the ball.
Banfield has been good in this term. Scrub around the corner. Braun's been fantastic in this quarter. Back to Matera, who's lifted. Clever to McIntosh. McIntosh through the centre to full forward. White's on a long lead. Doggies are getting back there. White missed Lewis. Sir with him. Little one off the ground. Back to Cox. They're being tested at the back, the Dogs. Kicks to centre wing. Darcy putting the pressure on him as Cousins. He was important when they were 8 goals behind. Beautiful kick to Braun. To Matera. He's got Banfield outside of him. Didn't see him. Back to Braun. Made a bit of a mess of it, Matera. Back to Simmons. Has Lewis outside. Even better to White. This will put them in front. White steady. Goes. Leans back. Kicks to the goal square. And Gehrig is... No, he hasn't. But West Coast is in front. 8-6 to 8-5.
Well, Bruce, I've seen a lot of football, but I do not think I've seen a turnaround like this ever.
Yes, a remarkable first half of football. West Coast to the left, Bulldogs to the right. All the goals so far tonight have been to the right of screen. Statisticians everywhere would be having a ball tonight, wouldn't they? It's doubtful we've seen a match like it. Let's hope they can go goal for goal in the final half and finish off what could be a classic here. Through the centre. Garlick's kick to half forward. Front spot, strong mark taken there by Metropolis against Montgomery. It's important, I think, from both teams' point of view that they are very solid early. Cousins to ball. Both coaches would like the scoring to slow down a little. There's Libber. Ball's kicked to half forward, measures it all. Rowan Smith missed it, probably should have marked it. Southern's hands were okay. Sir, good vision. Got the ball to Johnson. Johnson runs a long, long way, kicks the ball low. Didn't really have a target. Waterman strolls after it and very happily sees the ball out of play.
The bounce of the ball, left half forward for the Western Bulldogs. Wine gets his right fist to it. Garlick gives away a little bit of meterage. Martin across the centre half forward area. Good mark. Running with the flight of the ball. Grant has taken it about 40 metres out directly in front. He's probably a little closer than 40 metres. And you would think that Chris Grant would kick the distance from this area here. You can see the cameras right behind, going down the ground. That was a good kick by Mickey Martin.
Good kick to space there, probably aiming the ball there for Darcy. Darcy doing the right thing. Grant running with the flow of the ball. He just kept his opponent at bay, Darcy. Made sure that there wasn't a collision.
So Chris Grant going for his 3rd goal to become the equal leading goal kicker in the match with Chad Morrison. Grant's kick, stabs at it, misses to the left. 2 goals, 1 to Chris Grant. Scores level, early part of the 3rd quarter here at the Wacker. 8-6 apiece.
There was a tentative kick on that occasion from Grant.
Remember his second half here last year, Tim, when he had that huge finish and the Dogs hung on. So they want another big one. McIntosh to Braun, to Matera, bounce in trouble. Just changes direction. He knows if he was grabbed, he was gone. Back to McIntosh. Oh, very cute, and found some space. Got through 3 Doggies and belts at the centre half forward. Over the back, Morrison onto it. It sits now, and he misses. He kicked 3 in the first half. The ball just took a little longer to sit for him, didn't it? And then he had to change his stride and make an angle of it. So a miss from Grant at one end, a miss from Morrison at the other. 55 to 54.
Bruce, it's like a piano accordion this game. Everyone concertina's up and then back. It's incredible.
The game's changing, isn't it? Lewis, Simmons has got it! Simmons gets the first goal of the second half. First goal to the left-hand end for the night. Thanks, Robbo. 9-7 to 8-6. They've got a 7-point lead.
Well, good play there by Chris Lewis. Just manufacturing something out of nothing. Just knocked the ball back to space. Watch this. Scotty White almost grabbed hold of the ball. That ruck jewel. Lewis just taps the ball cleverly back to some space. Perhaps heard the call there from Simmons. Good finishing.
Well, Paul Simmons has kicked the first goal to the left-hand end in this match. 8 goals in the first quarter to the Bulldogs to the right-hand end, 8 goals to the Eagles in the second term, and so far the only goal to that left-hand end kicked by Paul Simmons, and they may get a second one within a minute. Mitchell White slams it onto his left boot and slams it through for a behind.
Well, he's probably still a bit tentative on his right foot there too, on his right leg. He actually kicked with his left, but he had to put all his weight then onto his right leg. That's the knee he had reconstructed.
Well, the kick in has been taken by Cameron. Gee, they might have made a blue here. They're going to force it forward. Donnelly for Chris Lewis. Lewis missed it. Attempted hack out of there. Sir to Curley. Curley confidently handballs it inside to Johnson, but Simmons met that player. Attacking it was Cousins, then Banfield back to Simmons. They've got a chance here. Morrison's on the end of it. In goes Morrison for his 4th goal of the game, and he's got it. No, he hasn't. It's hit the post. Oh. 3 goals, 2 to Chad Morrison.
Banfield back to Curley, but it's still a 1-goal ball game to centre wing. Montgomery. Metropolis good. Reed did it well. It's all happening for West Coast. Wobbly kicked the centre half forward. Morrison was very good. He was sensational. Magnificent. Oh, that's a lifter. Chad Morrison gives it to Mitchell White. We'll kick the last 10 goals of the match, West Coast.
That's domination, isn't it? And they're starting to win the ball around the packs again as we see Reed fire the ball forward. The Bulldogs had that domination around the packs. The Eagles have taken control there. All the momentum's now going their way. Plus the fact they're getting in there, winning the hard ball. And Morrison very happy with that effort.
Johnson, he's got to gather this. He just gets his kick away. It'll go close to the line. Kemp back there for the Eagles. Tries to get past Ramiro, succeeds in doing so. Goes in short and finds Reed, who's been terrific. He was completely outplayed in the first quarter, and he's come back well. Waterman into the pocket, and the mark is taken by Mitchell White. Well, they were pretty quiet in the first quarter, but they've had plenty to scream and shout about since quarter time, the Eagles fans.
And they've reversed the running pressure. It was Ramiro doing all the running early in the game. Now it's Kemp doing all the running. It's Ramiro doing all the chasing. And the same with West and Braun. And also Johnson, who's now chasing Reed, as we said a moment ago, all over the paddock.
Mitchell White for his 2nd goal. He just lobs it into the square where it's helped over for a rush behind to the West Coast Eagles.
And I guess Terry Wallace is getting concerned now about where he's going to get his goals from too. He's got Rowan Smith down there, the forward line all alone. He's got Collingwood there just preparing to come onto the ground. He's been a goal kicker for them this year. He's kicked 15 goals, 8 Collingwood. And that's what they'll need from him when he does re-enter.
So Cameron to himself, and then belts it long to half back, wanting Wine. Wine pushes forward. Banfield down to Waterman, to Donnelly. Handball over the top, good. Simmons to kick his 2nd. It's raining goals now to the left. They've kicked the last 11 goals. Remarkable. 11-10 to 8-6. They're tearing away now from the Bulldogs.
Well, they've just taken complete control, have they, in general play. They're winning all the 50-50 contests. They're getting the numbers to the ball. And now the Western Bulldogs are going to have to answer the challenge.
So the last 11 goals in this match have been kicked by the Eagles. 11-10 to 8-6. 2 solitary behinds. 1 in the 2nd and 1 so far in the 3rd for the Bulldogs. Collingwood gets a kick and gets it to Grant. Smith's at full forward. Grant measures, wants Hudson, he's got him. Hudson at 50.
Lucky not to get a 52 then, Banfield. He did knock the ball away after Hudson took control of it.
Last goal, 26 minutes into the first quarter for the Bulldogs. Hudson from 50 metres. He'll kick outside it. He kicked 2 first quarter goals. He's been the leading goal kicker at the club this season. It's just beyond his reach. It would take a really big kick. He might be capable. He's kicked it very well. It's floating there. It might be through. He might have got it. He has. Hudson gets his third, and the drought is broken. Suddenly the heavens have opened up, and the Bulldogs are on the board again. It's 9-6 to 11-10.
And Hudson just having a word there. I don't know whether it was about the fact that Banfield did knock the ball out of his hands, but that was a huge kick. I doubted it when he lined up that he was going to be able to kick the distance, but good work there right on the line by Chris Grant.
Short to Braun. When you think of the misses in this quarter for the Doggies, Rowan Smith, Chris Grant, Scott West a moment ago, three of their best players. Waterman to Ball, back inside. Montgomery cut it off to Wine. It's an important couple of minutes here. Kick by Powell, Garlick and Kemp. Ramiro's got hold of it. The Doggies are coming back. West inside to Johnson. Can go all the way. He's very quick. He's a good finisher. He's going to kick a goal. It's there. It's another one now. They're coming back. This game is coming alive again.
Give Simon Garlick a fantastic pat on the back. His contest down here really sorted it out for Ramiro.
It was a poor handball though at half forward for the West Coast Eagles. It was just a blind handball, and that's where the turnover occurred. And then the Bulldogs had the numbers on the way back. They also had the space with which to operate in. Good protection of the ball carrier there too. Good finishing.
So the boundary throw in the right forward pocket. The Bulldogs a chance. Scotty Wine, no one there. Yes, there is. Paul Hudson dancing like Frittis there. Gets his fourth goal. 4 goals to Hudson. And it's back to a 3-point ball game here at the Wacker. Well, who's going to win? Hey? You'd be a game man, wouldn't you, eh? To tip from here.
It'll be a draw, Robbo.
Well, it's been a terrific clash.
And the Western Bulldogs trying to get Garlick on the Braun and away from West. West is trying to pick up Banfield.
4 points, the West Coast lead. Close to three-quarter time. Donnelly for the Eagles. Just his second kick. Goes in short and finds Simmons. Simmons, who has been a goal kicker in this quarter. He's kicked 2. He's deep on the wing. Kicks it to within 50 metres. Good mark by Gehrig. Second in line behind Danny Southern. A little too tall, put his long arms straight up in the air and has marked within scoring distance for the West Coast Eagles.
Well, it takes more marks than anyone else in the competition, Fraser Gehrig. A lot of them are uncontested. That's a good contested mark there. You just rely on your teammates in a situation like this. There had to be another player up over the top of Fraser Gehrig, but a couple of centimetres on Danny Southern.
He's kicked 2, and he hooks the kick across to the right. 2 goals, 1 to Gehrig in this match.
We're back to inside a goal. Deep into the turn, Braun, a little chip to full forward. Gehrig's normally good in this situation. Goes back. Simmons will kick his third. He's got it. 3 third-quarter goals. It's been an amazing game of football, hasn't it? I mean, you could talk about this game for a week. There have been so many subtitles and subplots to this match.
Well, we had such an uneven first half, didn't we? With the Bulldogs dominated the first quarter and the opposite in the second quarter. And then this quarter's been so even in general play too. And that's just the benefit of having someone like a Fraser Gehrig with good foot speed to come out in front of Danny Southern there, give the ball off square.
Well, we have got time for either side to score in this third term. Big punch forward by the Eagles. Johnson's punch has been gathered by Braun. He's played a pretty good game. Reid has made a very good comeback, and it is a goal. Kicked by Philip Reid. So what was just a matter of 3 points a few moments ago, all of a sudden is 17 points now.
And what the benefit there of just a big hit forward, players working to it. It was Reid who worked there too, and Braun got the ball over to Reid. But great to see Reid coming back because he had a fairly dirty early part of the game, matched up against Romero, Malthouse had a few words through the quarter time.
Jakovic gets back. Jakovic measures it, doesn't get it to where he wants it. Ramiro inside to Powell, back to Jose. Ramiro short to Hudson, he's got him. There's a good kick, and he's found the best finisher in the team. He's kicked for Hudson. Wallace down on the bench. Yes, they trailed against Essendon, North and Richmond in rounds 6, 7 and 9 at three-quarter time and came over the top of them to win. The Bulldogs, the best finishing team in the competition. Can Hudson kick his fifth and close the gap here? A big kick, basically on the siren. Kicking from 45 metres out. He's kicked it beautifully. He's kicked his fifth goal. And the siren sounds. What a game we've had here. And again, it closes. It's 13-12 to 12-7. Hudson with 3 third-quarter goals to match the effort of Paul Simmons at the other end. Have a look at that. They've trailed 3 times in 4 weeks and 1 at three-quarter time. Could they do it again? They led by 8 at quarter time. It's been one of the most unusual games of football you'd ever witness. Martin, it deserves the grandstand finish that it might get. Kicks to 50. Hudson and McKenna. Hudson has been a star.
There's a chance here through Cameron. His kick will land back towards the centre of the ground. It's been gathered by Gardner. Handball to McKenna. McKenna forward of centre. Kicks towards the half-forward area. And a good diving mark to Mitchell White.
He's been impressive, hasn't he, tonight? He hasn't kicked well. He went off the ground for a while. We thought that he may not reappear. And on this occasion, McKenna just had so much time in the midfield to spot that kick.
The player on the mark is about 45 metres from goal. Mitchell White just off to the right. Never really threatened the goal face.
They could have put the Bulldogs away here, West Coast. Gehrig's missed a couple. White's missed 3 or 4. Lewis has got hold of it. It was good, Lewis, in the second quarter. Back over his shoulder, touch. Well done, Southern. It was going through. So the points keep totaling up for West Coast, but they're keeping the Doggies in this. Ramiro on hands and knees. 13-14 to 12-7. Just one goal could really change this match. The Bulldogs could get the next. Montgomery, that's better. At least he timed his run. Gardner back turns. Handball out. Cousins back. Very good. Metropolis squares it to Banfield. Takes his man on. Goes out wide. Going for goal. Braun hits the post. Free kick, I think, coming back to Braun. High tackle. So he's going to get a shot here against the Doggies. Now, I don't think the score's going to stand. We'll take it off, I'm pretty sure. Just need some clarification there. No score, so Braun to take the shot from about 45 metres. 13-14 to 12-7 the score. Well, they need a goal here. It sounds ridiculous because they're on top, I know, but they've had so many chances, the Eagles, to put a big break on the Doggies, and it's been a match where teams have been able to rebound very, very strongly. Braun high, close, he's missed. So behind, 3 behinds to Braun.
There are a chance the Bulldogs here to gather. No, they're not. It's chopped off by McKenna, and the Eagles will go down the ground. Braun's kick is a beauty to the face of Mitchell White. Short ball handling. His kick in towards full forward. Lewis pushed away from it, and the mark is paid to Sadat Sir. Just a little bit of intensity out here. Good mark to Reed from behind Johnson. Reed with the football. He's in his forward 50-metre zone. He's been called to play on and kicks high. Wobbly punt kick. Curley misses it altogether. Gehrig snapped the goal. Delighted Fraser Gehrig. 3 goals to Gehrig, and that's the goal the Eagles were looking for in the early part of the third quarter. They're 14th.
Just watch this again. The Bulldogs really, they had to hit something. Curley missed everything, and Fraser Gehrig probably had to be that close to kick a goal because his kicking has been atrocious. And now the Western Bulldogs certainly have got the job ahead of them. They've got to win the ball out of the centre.
Poor defensive play at the back by the Doggies. Curley missing the lot. Gehrig gets his third. West Coast lead by 20 points. Banfield, Scott West, Ramiro. They need both those players to have huge last 10 minutes. Southern's gone forward. Almost took a strong march. In fact, there's been paid to Southern at 50 metres. The Trottlers can't believe it. What's it been paid for?
Must be a free kick too high, is it?
He's paid the mark. Something's gone on centre half forward, and Croft has gone into defence to pick up Fraser Gehrig.
How can he pay the mark? The ball hit the ground.
Bemusing. Danny Southern.
He's kicked 10 goals, 6 this year, so he spent a fair bit of time in the forward line.
Kicked 3 goals in the opening match of the season. He's going to kick from 55. It's a good kick. It's a fantastic kick. It's a goal. They're still in it. Doggies not out of this. They can keep going forward and converting. They're right in this. It's 14-15 to 13-7. Got to take some chances, the Doggies. Curley squares the kick, wants Martin. Matera. Matera wins it beautifully. Tries to draw the man. Kicks the ball high. Gehrig's his target. He's outnumbered. With one arm, he keeps it going for them. Morrison's little left footer. White's got it. Surely he'll kick a goal. He's at the post. He's kicked 1 goal, 6. Unbelievable. Well, and look at Gimme. They worked it forward. Gehrig was good. Morrison was good. White, who was on the end. In fact, when you think about the goal that White kicked tonight, it was the one from 1 metre out when Morrison kicked the ball off the ground. And he's hit the post. And still the Doggies breathe. They're still alive.
Well, thanks to Mitchell White. He's played a very good game. He's had 16 kicks, 3 hand passes, 9 marks. The kick in. Worsfold. Great mark, and the cheers from the Eagles fans. He's a popular man, Johnny Worsfold. 201 games now. Well, he had his name written all over that. It looked as though the kick-in was really meant for Worsfold.
Look at the crowd rise, Robbo. They just jump as one, don't they?
Well, the popular captain, he's kicked to the front of the goal square. Up high was Gehrig. Banfield will put a nail in the Bulldog coffin. Banfield's first goal. And that makes the margin a very, very difficult one now. 22 points in favour of the Eagles.
And Peter Matera going down there to his skipper, Johnny Worsfold, just giving him a pat on the back. He's sent the ball forward after taking that terrific mark. Banfield just getting there as a crummer.
Jakovic took a mark. That's a terrible kick to Cousins in the centre. Terrific match by Cousins. They've all lifted since quarter time. Worsfold wide. Simmons in front of him. 3 third-quarter goals for Simmons. Short to ball. Loose man now. Gehrig wanted it very short. Ball decides against it. Morrison's at full forward. He's going to lay long. Kick the ball in Morrison's direction. Coming in from the side, Waterman. Big fly. Kemp's onto it. Kemp's onto it. Beautiful. Wonderful play. Morrison's got it. Kemp set it up. Morrison's got 4. They're home. They'll win now. The Eagles have got it. What a win it's going to be.
Waterman gathers the football across centre wing. Kicks it in towards the middle of the ground. Jakovic. Out wider still to right half forward. Worsfold. Kicked away by Martin. Overrun by McKenna. Hacked out of there by Martin. There's a chance here for the Bulldogs. If it sits for Chris Grant, it does, and he gets back around Glenn Jakovic and then kicks high and very long and accurately. It's a goal to the Bulldogs. 3 goals to Chris Grant. So they're not giving up without a fight. Brett Montgomery off the ground. Stephen Powell to take his place. The Bulldogs get their 14th goal.
Well, Terry Wallace there would have been pretty happy at quarter time. It's been one-way traffic ever since, though. And Chris Grant, he's had a pretty good battle with Glenn Jakovic since Jakovic was shifted back down into defence. Just turns him inside out on that occasion.
West Coast by 22 points with 7 minutes left.
Kenna's made a beautiful last quarter on Hudson, who've kicked 5 goals to three-quarter time. Jakovic, West, still the doggies. Nah, trying to get it over the top. Shrugs a tackle, gets it to Powell. Fresh legs, centering kick, pretty good, beautiful mark. Pay, yes, good strong hands in the front by Johnson. They won't lie down, this team. He's got to kick the goal here. It will tighten it up again. Chris Grant's goal a moment ago, or I say a moment ago, probably 3 minutes ago now, gave the doggies a sniff. And put Johnson, who missed a goal on the run in the second quarter, but he tightened it. 35 metres out, gets close. He might have missed it. Has he got it? He's missed. Well, he looked to rush it a bit. He looked to get a bit close to the man on the mark. And that is really going to hurt. 16-17 to 14-8. It was a must goal. Had to be kicked. McIntosh belts it long. Grant launches himself and takes it. He's lifted in the last few minutes. He's got Southern out wide. Now he can kick a long goal. We saw him kick a goal in this quarter from further out than this.
Tried to pinch half a metre then too.
Marks the spot. Then marks it again where he's going to take his kick from. And goes back.
The point is, Bruce, when Brad Johnson hurried, I think he was aware they needed 4 goals in 6.5 minutes. The same situation for Danny Southern. They can't waste any time because the seconds are precious for the Bulldogs.
Kicks from 52. It's strong. It looks good. It's a great kick. Another one. That's a fantastic goal. Just like his other one. Well, surely they couldn't. Could they? 16-17 to 15-8.
Donnelly tries to knock it clear, but only for Ramiro. Cameron over the top, Rowan Smith. He's got to go down the ground. Take a little bit of a punt, and he does. He shrugged the tackle. West. Oh, the umpiring there in favour of the Bulldogs. Cameron in support. Left foot kick by Leon Cameron. It'll go over the players in that area and hurried through by Peter Matera for a rush behind to the Bulldogs.
West has had plenty of it late in the game. 16 and 14. 30 possessions. Here is Braun, and he's won it. And runs his full measure and kicks to full forward to White. Well done by Smith. Smith the runaway. He stretches the opposition to Cameron. It's deja vu to Ramiro. Ramiro measures, goes to full forward. Could Southern take a big one? He pushes them all over. McKenna, Montgomery, and Worsfold concedes. Happily. There's Jakovic. Gee, I hope he's all right. Looks low down, doesn't it? Looks ankle rather than knee.
Well, Mick Malthouse obviously checking the clock. The kick in towards the centre of the ground. Matera. He'll probably have the footy when the siren sounds, Peter Matera. Ticking down now. Kemp, Gehrig, McKenna. Matera goes long. And the mark will be taken down here by McIntosh. So all the heat out of the game. Kemp to kick to the goal square, and the siren signals the end of a classic game of football. The Eagles have won the battle, not necessarily the war. It was a terrific game by both sides. 8 goals to the Bulldogs in the first term, 8 goals to the Eagles in the second term to basically level it up at half-time. And from there on, it was a tremendous struggle by both of these teams. The Eagles winning by 13 points.
This has been a Fox Footy presentation.